Good evening, friends, family, support team. I hope this video finds you well. I realized the other day it had been months since I had given you guys any kind of update on what we're doing here in Silver Spring, and I immediately felt ashamed or guilty and knew I needed to do something. So I wanted to put together this 5-minute video just to get you guys back in the loop, let you know what we've been doing in this quarantine and pandemic time that's been crazy for all of us. So my two main duties at Restore, first one is the student ministry director. The second one is I work with the living room and as an extension of that, the group of immigrants and refugees that we're affiliated with. So with youth group, we're meeting twice a week on Tuesday nights, which is our game night. This is typically where you'll find the insanity and the bedlam. It gets pretty crazy. We've had a lot of different games. We try to switch it up, rotate it. We've done fishbowl, we've done Jackbox games, we've done scavenger hunts. We've done a game called Hey Robot, where you have to try and get a Google Home to say, any number of words on like a Jeopardy board sort of deal. I've never had so many kids Googling Botox and what it is and how to get a Google Home to say Botox. So it gets pretty intense, and the kids really enjoy it. They find that it's a safe space to invite their friends. Andrea and I were actually talking the other night, and we realized we've had 21 students come through our doors over the course of the last year. Our first year of youth ministry ended on April 1st. I shouldn't say ended, but that was our 1-year anniversary of when I started at Restore, was April 1st. So from April 1st to April 1st, and I guess a little bit after that, now that we're into June, towards the end of June, we've had 21 kids come over the last year and change. As I said. So it's been amazing to see. God bless our youth group and bless our ministry. We started with 2 kids within the church, so immensely proud of them for putting themselves out there, inviting friends, and making the youth group grow, because it definitely hasn't been me. It's a large credit to not only God for blessing our ministry, but also these students who are feeling evangelistic in nature. So proud of them. Second thing we're doing with youth group is, actually we did it earlier in the pandemic. We actually delivered care packages to each of them. About 15 of the students, we delivered care packages of candy, soda, chips, popcorn, you name it, anything that their parents wanted them to have while they were quarantined with their kids. We gave it to their kids. So lots of sugar to get them bouncing off the walls. I'm sure their parents were thrilled with us. But with those care packages, we delivered a week's worth of scripture reading and kind of gave the kids instructions to read the scripture, then spend 5 or 10 minutes just meditating and thinking on words that stuck out to you. And then at the end of the week, we all came back together virtually to talk about what stuck out to them. So it was a really, really cool thing, I think, that we did. I actually can't claim it. I saw some other youth pastors on a Facebook group doing it and thought, we got a small enough youth group that we could do this. And it turned out really, really well. And obviously the kids were excited to see us, but also I think it was just as much a ministry to the parents who are stuck with these kids, and not stuck, but who are trapped in their houses with their kids and trying to work. I think the parents, and some of them we hadn't even met before, because our original kids had invited them as friends, and we had never met the parents. So it was a great way for Andrea and I to meet these kids and their parents and see them and spend a little bit of time with them. So that was a big thing that we did. And then the last thing that we've been doing for the last couple of weeks actually is meeting with another church here in Silver Spring called The Bridge. Their youth leader, Shala Graham, invited us to be a part of their Courageous Christianity series, which deals with racism and the church's response to it, which has been incredibly enlightening, informative, challenging, hard to listen to parts of it. But I think that's important to do, and it's important for our students to hear, not only know the history of our country and the racism that's in it, but also the church and the part that the church has played in that, for good or for bad. And so it's been, like I said, it's been very enlightening, educating, challenging, not only for the leaders, us, but also for the students as well. So we've been blessed to be a part of that conversation, and that conversation wraps up next week on Thursday. So we're excited to see what God has for us and our students there. As I mentioned earlier, the second role that I have with Restore is working in the living room, particularly with the group of immigrants and refugees that we help through that space. And their name is City of Refuge. That's kind of their group name, and their leader or their pastor, Lanice Rojas. She and I play tag team, or we tag team work with each other every week in terms of what families need. This community has been hit very hard by this pandemic and by this quarantine. Not only losing jobs, but losing support, income, breadwinners, etc. They've lost a lot through it, and they've been hit very, very hard. Their businesses have shut down. Um, Restaurants have been shut down. Construction's been shut down. You name it. A lot of them have lost income, and so Restore and the greater Restore community has rallied around this group. And we've raised, I don't know what it is now, but I know a couple weeks ago when I last heard it was over $4,100. Lanice and I have made countless trips to Aldi and Giant grocery store and purchased at least 100 Aldi gift, or no, 41 $100 gift cards. I struggle every time with that. 41 $100 Aldi gift cards. And between Lanice and I, we've handed out every single one of those. So we fed over 41 families, which not only feeds them and puts food on their table, but it also frees up money for them to allocate towards other things, clothes, rent, etc. So Restore and the greater Restore community has really helped this community, has been the hands and feet of God in this situation. I always think about the scripture in Matthew when in the Sermon on the Mount when Jesus says, I care about the sparrow, how much I care about you guys. And that has rung true for each of these families. He cares about them and he's met their needs. So it's been a truly humbling experience to live and work as God's hands and feet, not only with the immigrants and refugees and here in Silver Spring, Montgomery County, but with the students as well, to disciple the youth and then to also care for our brothers and sisters that are in need. So I'm honored and overjoyed to continue in this work. And the reason I can is because of you guys. So thank you, not only for your prayers, but for your financial support. I'm honored to have you guys as partners in this. Grace and peace to each one of you and your families. And hopefully I will get a chance to talk to each of you soon. God bless.